Ryan. Had a couple of things on the third quarterback and running back. With running back, are you going to basically look at Laird, Duke Johnson, Dokes this week, and then make a decision on who to replace Malcolm Brown's body active list Sunday? And also, with losing Reed Sinnott, are you guys looking young developmental quarterback for the practice squad, or maybe someone with experience who could step in if Tua or Jacoby is injured?
It's good to have you back, Barry.
Thank you.
How was
For the two questions in one.
No. How was your I heard you got to look at some foliage. You were away checking out some foliage.
Foliage,
Yes.
exactly.
So we signed Jake Dolagala. He's a quarterback with the Central Connecticut. We signed him this morning to the practice squad. As far as the running backs, you mentioned Laird, you mentioned Dokes. Duke Johnson, we just signed to the practice squad also. So we'll take a look at all those guys this week. Obviously, more familiarity with Patrick and Dokes. So we'll get to know Duke this week and see what that looks like. Is that it? I mean, what else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're looking up the Central Connecticut quarterback.
It's spelling as we speak.
Yeah.
What do you guys like about Duke Johnson?
Obviously, experienced player, good runner, good in the pass game, has been a productive player in the league. So, a lot of film, a lot of good amount of production over the course of his career, and just kind of looking at the running back situation, what was available, felt like that was, the best that was available.
He was facing the same team he was injured against. Not long after it happened, will there be some mental hurdle involved in that?
I don't think so. I think he's excited to get out to practice today, to play with his teammates and to compete on Sunday.
Where is he in relation to the flak jacket? I didn't notice. Was he wearing it this past Sunday? Will he continue to wear it if he plays?
Yeah, he's been wearing some protection. I can't. I'm no. I don't know the ins and outs of the flap jackets, but I know I've had some conversations with Joe Cimino about it. But yeah, he would definitely wears protection around the ribs.
Flo, during the start of the season, is there something that you might have learned about yourself or your coaching staff that you didn't know before? That this lesson taught you a lesson about how to be a better coach?
I mean, I think you learn stuff every day in this league, and I think we're all learning. We're all trying to get better on a daily basis. I mean, I asked that of the players, and I certainly asked that of myself. So, I think every time I go out there and coach, offense, defense, special teams, situation, game, practice, walkthrough. I'm always looking for a way to get a point across, coach something a little bit better, teach something a little bit better, teach a situation a little bit better, motivate a little bit more. I think that's kind of an ongoing, daily process for me, not just football-wise, but really across the board. I just try to get better in every area of my life, and I try to talk to our players about doing that. Obviously, from a football standpoint, but also in other areas.
Brian, what's your confidence level that Devontae will be able to play Sunday?
Today we'll walk through, but hopeful that he can. Well, he'll be available for the walkthrough for sure. Hopeful that he can, string a couple of good days of practice, Thursday and Friday, and we'll see if he's available for the game.
Well, the second week in a row that you're facing a team coming off a bye week, what are kind of the talking points that you emphasize to your players about facing a well-rested, team that's eager to go?
I think every week there's different challenges. A team coming off the bye, obviously they've had some rest. They'll have energy. I mean, I think, you know, just being on the road and being in that environment, there's going to be energy in the stadium regardless. But well rested, like you mentioned, you know, should be full of juice, full of energy. But I would expect that from this team, whether it was, or really any team, whether they're, you know, coming off a bye or not.
Regarding the,
Greg Mans and Noah Ganabi.
You know, both still getting treatment, you know, against the walkthrough today, so expect them to both be, or they'll both be at the walkthrough. But, you know, getting better, moving in the right direction.
going back to the issue of being well rested, I think there probably was an assumption on my part anyway last week that the walkthrough was because of the London trip, but now we're still on Wednesday walkthrough. Is that something that you foresee keeping throughout the rest of the season? And if so, what's the thinking on that?
I think, you know, it's week to week. So there were some bumps, bruises coming out of the game. And just felt like, you know, it's in the best interest to get 2 good days, Thursday and Friday, to, you know, take a little bit off from today.
There's been a lot of talk about one player relative to a trade, but just in general, have you made it a point to address sort of the whole group about the looming trading deadline? Not about one player generally, about the trade deadline coming.
We don't really talk about, you know, we're talking about the Bills. We're talking about the Bills. We're talking about, you know, individually trying to improve and get better in practice. Here are the things we need to do this week against this team for, you know, for Joe, for Hal, for, you know, that's kind of the conversation. You know, there's no conversations about, you know, trade deadlines.
Is Jerome feeling better? Have you talked to him today? Obviously, he's a big part of your defense.
Yeah, he'll be out there today. You know, he'll be, you know, listed limited. Kind of working through the issue with the injury, or let's call it, you know, the injury, and let's call him day to day. I think we've moved the ball, you know, better the last couple of weeks. I think we had, you know, probably a few more, you know, chunk plays the week before than last week, but I thought we moved it, you know, pretty efficiently. Obviously not well enough, and then, you know, we just got to be more consistent in the middle part of the game. But, you know, I think overall, I think we're moving it fairly efficiently, you know, and, you know, taking what the defense gives us. But, you know, we got to do more.
Ryan, what did the film tell you about Austin Ryder's performance at center, and is he a guy you might consider keeping him in the starting lineup regardless of?
I thought he did some good things. You know, it's when you step in and you haven't played, and then, you know, you go in there and you know, playing an NFL game. I thought he did well. I thought his communication was good. I thought his overall understanding of where he needed to be was good. I'm sure I know there's some plays that he wishes he would have blocked a little bit better or protected a little bit better. But overall, I thought, you know, we were able to, you know, run the offense from an O-line standpoint, you know, without a huge drop off. I thought he did a nice job.
Well, knowing you have your focus on the game and not get into the details which y'all talk about, can you take me through maybe what the process is in season when you and Chris talk about transactions or different things involving the 53-man roster?
I mean, we talk pretty much every day about, you know, the roster, inactives, who's playing, who's not playing, practice. So it's really more of a daily conversation. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question. But as far as the process, I mean, it's really a daily process where we're, you know, something pops on the waiver wire. You know, I may pop in his office. He comes into mine. Practice squad, practice squad protection. I mean, this is, you know, it's not like a once a week thing. It's really every day. And, you know, we're constantly, you know, evaluating, our team and seeing what else is out there, and those are kind of daily conversations.
Brian, we asked Josh a couple days ago about just overall defensive philosophy and playing more zone or as opposed to blitzing less. I want to ask you how much is playing young safeties like Javon and Brandon Jones kind of played a role in maybe not blitzing as much, and kind of big picture, have you seen defenses tend to kind of favor coverage as opposed to sacrificing that with the rule changes kind of favoring offense?
I didn't get the last part of it.
Just big picture, have you kind of seen defenses tend to prioritize coverage more as opposed to blitzing and sacrificing that in coverage?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really game plan specific. I think it's situation specific to the situation. It's a kind of a tough question because when to cover, when to blitz. There's a feel involved there. So, I mean, it's obviously part of every game plan. Hey, we're going to cover them here. We're going to blitz them here. We're going to try to pressure them in this situation. Score may play a role in that. There's so many kind of factors. So, I think it's, and obviously the players involved, are part of it as well. Do we think we can get there with a 4-man rush, 5-man rush? Do we feel like we need to blitz them? There's so many kind of layers to them. You may want to, have a plan to blitz, and then you get there on a 3-man rush, and you say, why would I blitz them? You know what I mean? That every game is a little bit different. So it's a tough question. I think we'd have to look at a specific game and say, hey, what happened? What happened on the last series? They made you. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot that goes into that.
What about the zone man choice? What are some factors that maybe go beyond the obvious when choosing which path to go?
Situation. If you want to get on them on first down, you want to get them on them on, second and whatever, third down. What'd you do the last time? I mean, there's a lot of factors. It's kind of the same as far as calling a game.
Well, I asked you this after the game, and I'm curious in your thoughts, like, how do you balance kind of the mentality of letting the guys know, like, hey, keep your chin up, but also saying, I'm upset and I'm frustrated too, when you're going through, a losing streak like this? Is there a balance between kind of like making sure you're on the same page with the players there?
I mean, I like to think that I'm very honest with the guys. I think, that's kind of been my philosophy, and, how I'll just continue to interact with the players. So, yeah, I mean, I think these guys work hard. They're resilient. They give great effort. They should keep their heads up. At the same time, we've got to do better. And that's really, it's as direct and honest as I can be. And, that's been the message to them. And, but I also tell them that I'll be better, and I'm not one to, point fingers and, try to divide a group. I mean, we're all in this together. So that's kind of the message. And I think, honesty is always the best way to go. That's been my kind of overall philosophy, and I'll continue to do that.
Flo, you talked about, being honest with your players. Tua spoke about after the game, you being transparent with him with regards to the trade reports. How do you guys kind of just navigate this the final days up until the trade deadline with, reports kind of coming out as often as they have been?
Well, I mean, I don't really get into rumors. I don't really pay attention to rumors and hypotheticals and this and that. Tua is our quarterback. I've said that, multiple times, and I've said that to him, and it's about as, I try to be, honest and transparent with our players, and, that's what I've been.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.